And finally, the fabulous Fabian Fusion finale. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on my alt. We will be on my main shortly. We are here to pull shards because it is a wonderful 2x event, and we have the Summon Rush, not Summon Rush, the Champion Chase right here. Champion Chase is 3,500 points, which may seem expensive, but you are going to be able to fuse some of the epics here, so just infusing some of the epics here from the Fabian Fusion, you can get, this is 350 points each, so I've got all but one of the rares. They're all ready to go, except for the one we're going to get probably from this Champion Chase. And then I'm done with the events, which would be absolutely amazing. So, you know, I am going to be pulling some shards anyway, because it is a wonderful 2x event, and I like pulling shards. It's been a while. I could actually use some of the chickens, so I'm going to be pulling a bunch of my ancients. So I've got 104 ancients here. I don't necessarily need to pull all of them, and honestly, maybe it might be better for me to save up a little bit, but I've already managed to save up 7 sacreds on this account. I've got a couple voids. I'm kind of tempted to pull in this 2x chance, but honestly, I don't have enough voids to really make a big difference, so I'm going to save them for another event, just in case I need them for some, for example, a Champion Chase to be able to get Fabian's Soul. That's also where the Sacred Shards are going to come in, and that's where the Primal Shards may come in if I absolutely need to, and if worst case scenario, Mystery Shard. But Ancient Shards are rarely worth anything on Summon Rushes, and this is a Champion Chase, and this is a 2x Ancient, which is always a fun time to pull. I could certainly use some additional plus epics, or maybe even a couple of epics that I've maybe fed beforehand that I probably shouldn't have for some Centrinos content as well. So we're going to hope for something good. We have Pepsi in hand. Pepsi, you are not a sponsor, and that's really unfortunate. You bring us some luck, and hopefully you'll continue to bring us some luck. This should be amazing. Let's get pulling. Alrighty, Chopper. No Arnold jokes here. Epic. Kinagashi, pretty okay reviver. She's got an ally attack as well, and I think this is a single target reviver. It's an okay revive, not great, but she's one of the few revivers. In fact, I think she's the only true reviver in that faction, so yeah. Definitely worth holding on to for faction wars for progression. Alrighty, so nothing particularly exciting for this account. Again, this is a fairly endgame account, so we're just looking for legendaries or really good epics to empower. So, alright, let's get pulling. Let's see some gold. Kind of expect to see at least 1 gold in these things. I don't quite know where my mercy is, but at least 1 gold feels good. Maybe 2. Let's aim for 2, Clarium. We'll compromise on 3. How's that sound? Did I hear 4? Probably not. Alright. We are rare taxed. That is absolutely tragic. Come on, Polarium. All right, now I want 5, and that's my final offer. Basilisk, not particularly exciting. I think he's either got all AoEs or he's the one. Oop, there's a legendary. Ooh, Hansel. Okay, Hansel is an okay champion, but I've got Gretel, which makes him better. So Hansel gives he's got a single attack, attacks weaken if if Gretel's on the same team. This becomes an AoE attack and a 25% chance of placing weaken on all enemies for 2 turns. Place an extra hit on enemies under any debuffs, which, to be fair, he puts one on, so you build them with accuracy. This is suddenly a double hitter, AoE A1. Absolutely nice. A2 attacks one enemy 2 times, will ignore shield and unkillable buffs, grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. A3 attacks all enemies, will ignore 15% of each target's defense, also increases the cooldown of 1 random skill on each enemy by 2 turns. If Gretel's on the same team, will ignore 30% of each target's defense instead. Will increase the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns instead. This cooldown increasing effect cannot be resisted. This would be great if we didn't have Alice, who does this without having Gretel, which is kind of unfortunate for Hansel, is basically he got power crept by a free champion. But, you know, he could be fun, and maybe I might actually, to be fair, Hansel and Gretel may actually be very good for the upcoming hard faction wars mode. So from that end, he may actually still get some use on this account. So I think it might be kind of fun. And I know he's been kind of fun in Arena for some people as well. I think Alice is probably better, even with some of these weird cavets that he's got with Hansel and Gretel. Passive effect reflects all fear and true fear buffs from this champion to the attacker. That could be very anti-Fabian, actually, so that's an interesting thought. That's good. You can also do some stuff on Hydra, I guess, with this. If Gretel Haggling is on the same, also reflects all fear and true fears from Gretel. Again, not too bad. So yeah, you could build a Hansel and Gretel team to be anti-Fabian. That could be interesting. Active effect, if Gretel is on the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates his Baneful Burst, which is this one here. So basically, if you kill one of them, the other one attacks. So, you know, not too bad. He's an okay champion. He is not the greatest, but you know, there are definitely some worse champions in the game than he is. And the fact that I've got Gretel means I might have some shenanigans with the two of them combined. So that's actually kind of exciting, even if it's not amazing. So let's get some more though. That's one of what we were at 6, I think, is what we're demanding now, right? Maybe 7. I'm going to get more unreasonable Polarium until morale improves. Kalia, okay, Reviver, nothing particularly exciting here. We want gold. That is a Grizzled Jarl. That is not gold. That is a Lorne the Cutter. That is also not gold. Not particularly exciting. Come on, we're looking for gold. Bauf. Bauf is worth holding on to. If I don't have a Bauf, I need to hold on to one of them. Bauf is actually pretty useful for Centranos because he's got an not an AoE, but he's got a heal reduction on the A1. Now, it is only a 50% chance, but on the A1 means you can basically spam it. You can use ally attacks. You can put counter attacks on him, for example, and he can get that out on Amius, making that very, very reliable. So that's pretty good. Decrease accuracy doesn't suck. Removes all debuff, removes 2 random debuffs from all allies. So you've got a cleanse too. And increased accuracy is not too bad. It's not enough buffs that you really worry about things getting reversed, but the cleanse is very nice as well. So cleanse can be very, very good against Amius too. I don't know if I need him on this account necessarily, but I think he's worth having. And I think for some of the Centranos floors, he can be very useful as well. These are all mostly single or double attacks. And decreases the damage for all is received from poison debuffs by 50%. That could be kind of interesting if you're having trouble with the Nether Spider. This could be useful for the Nether Spider. So he's got some use. Probably not a lot of use on this account, but could be kind of good. All right, let's get more gold. Bowsmith Flannan is golden, but not the legendary we're looking for. Another rare tax. Really, Polarium? Apothecary, not really a legendary anymore. Good champion, though. That is, well, 3 epics. Not horrible from points. Thanacel's got some absolutely amazing dance moves, if you've seen them. Unfortunately, he does not have them in-game, which I think is a very, very big letdown, Polarium. You could give Thanacel those dance moves in the game, maybe even make it his end of the battle celebration or something like that. That would be absolutely awesome. Make it happen, Polarium. That's what we want, dancing Thanacel. In fact, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see Thanacel dancing in-game. All right, let's get something cool. Not particularly cool. We've got at least 10 more. I haven't been counting, so we'll see how many more we have. Let's get another legendary to round out polls. I will be very happy. My viewers will be very happy. Pepsi will be very happy. No, we get sadness. We get Ibushi. So how did we do in the event? All right, so we got enough. We will get that legendary book because we are going to be fusing the epic, so that is good. In fact, I could fuse Fabian right now if I wanted to, and if I fuse Fabian and the 3 books, that's I can't quite get that chicken. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to fuse Fabian this weekend or save him for CVC. Definitely want to pull him on one of the accounts because I certainly want to kit him out and maybe do a guide on him if I can sometime this weekend. So all right, let's go hop over to the main. And, you know, hey, I got a Hansel. Hansel's actually a bit of an improvement. I do have Gretel here as well. So, you know, that's something. I'm not going to complain too much about that. All right, we are here on my main, and we have 110 to pull. Nice and easy. It's going to be 11-10 pulls. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get at least 1 legendary, if not 2, 3, 4, or 5 that Polarium owes me from the previous shard pulls on my alt. So we have Pepsi as always. Pepsi will bless us. Pepsi will get us some great champions. Pepsi is not a sponsor, so they are unfortunately not blessing us with that sweet, sweet Pepsi money. Pepsi, think about all the money I could make from your sponsorship. So let's get pulling. There's a legendary. That is a Corrado. I believe that is my 4th Corrado on this account. I am not 100% sure. I actually want to check that out. Corrado's a fun champion. He is, I do have Yumiko, so he's got some use. And maybe I'll actually see some use with him in the the new Faction War stuff. But he's got an A1 weaken, which is a triple hitter, so that's not too bad. He's got an AoE, not AoE, but an A2 stun. It's a 2-turn stun. Grants an extra turn and resets the cooldown of the skill if Yumiko's on the same team and he kills somebody. So can be very good for a nuke, and this does hit pretty hard. It's got this A3, attacks all enemies, places block active skills for 2 turns, can be very useful, cannot be resisted if Yumiko's on the same team. So he actually could become very useful for Faction Wars. He hits decently hard. He's not a top tier nuker, which is part of why you really don't see him in a lot, but I'm actually kind of, in a lot of arena, I should say. But I'm surprised you don't actually have the block active skills being used a little bit more with him, because that combined with Yumiko possibly resetting other skills as well, you have a pretty good lockout. But I guess that's probably part of the problem, is Yumiko already resets your cooldowns on skills, so the block active skills only really covers the mythicals as well for that that flipping over to the form. It's got a weird passive too, where damage inflicted by this champion cannot be decreased by enemy passives or masteries. His damage can't be increased by passives or masteries. So things that do stats such as crit rate and crit damage, things that ignore defense, so the Helm Smasher adds extra damage. But for example, I don't think War Master works on him. I'm not 100% sure. If War Master works, that's great. But things that add damage to, like a percentage damage based off of if he's got a lower max HP than somebody else, for example, I'm not recalling what it is off the top of my head. Those type of skills don't add damage to him. But on the reverse end, things that would mitigate damage for masteries don't mitigate damage for him on the other end. So very interesting champion. You know, he's not great, but he's not bad. We'll go check and see how many of them I have. I'm kind of curious. So that is indeed my 4th Corrado Fox Hunter. I'm definitely going to keep at least one of them as a faction guardian, and since I have one built, I might end up +2ing that Corrado. That could be kind of interesting. It's either that or maybe +2ing my Genzen. Genzen's a good champion as well. The two of them combined are pretty good. Yes, I do have a Harima. Yes, I could +1 this Harima, but I've kind of been waiting on not doing it because I kind of, you know, maybe it's time to +1 this next Harima, because I don't think I'm going to build that second Harima that I've always thought I might otherwise. So we'll think about it. I've got, you know, we're talking, you know, end game problems here. So let's get back to shard pulls. All right, so now we have exactly 100, and Pepsi, you're going to bless us with more legendaries. Grosh the Mangler, login champion, very good, brings some healing. Crude on the blue, very, very good. I've been enjoying him on the free-to-play. He has been helping my account a ton. Lots of freezes, lots of speed increases. Good for Fire Knight, hard at least. Good for Spider, actually, too. Fat Man, good ally attacker. Would love a Fat Man on the free-to-play. Shatterbones, not super exciting. Pitiless one, kind of pity the fool that gets a pitiless one. He's even got the Mohawk. So Polarium kind of knew the joke. And if you don't know the joke, well, look up Mr. T. All right. Broodlord, okay. He's kind of grown on me a little bit. Master Butcher, top rare. Very helpful for Bommel. All right, not a rare tax. We got a Masamoto. I'm not a big fan of Masamoto, so we'll keep on going. We're looking for some more gold, Polarium. Come on. Something gold would be absolutely amazing. Infernal Baroness is not absolutely amazing. There's gold. That is a 3rd Necmothar. I may +1 a Necmothar. We'll certainly see on that one. I don't think I need 3 of them, but Necmothar is absolutely top tier, so I'm not going to be too upset about having to +1 a Necmothar. Necmo is one of my favorite champions in the game, honestly. He's just an absolute beast. It's got an AoE A1 that has decreased attack, 40% chance, 75% chance if they're under debuffs. Does not book any higher, so you want sniper on them, but that's fine. It's an A1. You can't really complain too much about it on an A1. A2 is decreased speed and leech, 3-turn cooldown, 100%. Great skill. Again, it's an attack all enemies as well, so he's all AoE. And then this skill here, 4-turn cooldown when booked, increased speed, increased turn meter, and grants him an extra turn. So it's effectively on a 3-turn cooldown. Makes his kit hum very nicely. And then finally, I keep on forgetting he has this, but fills his champion's turn meter by 5% each time a debuff on an enemy is transferred, removed, or expires. So he is constantly pushing his own turn meter forward to push everyone else's turn meter forward to continue to take turns. He is a Chimera beast. He is a Hydra beast. He can be used in arena. He can be used anywhere in the game and will help almost any account. And on top of that, he does have a 19% speed aura in all battles, which, you know, matches the fact that he is usable anywhere and everywhere. So he is absolutely awesome, and he brings this weird paddle that I guess is kind of cool. I think this is supposed to actually, I think he's supposed to have some of an Aztec theme, and this is supposed to have more, you know, spiky bits on the edge of it, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's actually a good pull. Again, I've got 2 of them on this account, so I don't think I'm going to build a 3rd one. So if my faction guardians for lizards are full, I will probably empower one of them, which is still not bad because I like to use my Necmothar all over the place. So an empowered Necmothar is still a good thing to have. Can we get more legendaries? Not necessarily. Come on, we got at least 1 more 10 pull, maybe 2 more. I haven't really been counting. There, hey! Well, I have 3 Genzins, so now I have 4 of them. Now I need to figure out if I want to empower my Karatos or my Genzins, or somebody else, and I can still technically empower some of them. So that's awesome. Genzin's absolutely amazing, though. Genzin is really good. He's got a triple hitter A1, fills his turn meter by 6%. I don't know why it's not 5 and 6, but it's 6%. So that's 18% turn meter on the A1 he gains. Attacks all enemies. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. So that's an extra, you know, it's only 1 attack. So that could still be, you know, 4 to 5 people. So that's 40 or 50% extra turn meter. And this hits pretty hard. And then finally attacks one enemy, will ignore unkillable and shield. Fills his champion turn meter by 30%. Fills his turn by 60% instead if the target has 50% or less after this attack. Also decreases the cooldown of Steel Party and Fate Events 1 turn if this kills an enemy. So basically, he keeps on going and keeps on attacking and keeps on filling his own turn meter and keeps on attacking and keeps on going. Very, very good champion. He gets used in a lot of endgame Fire Knight teams because he's got not only this triple hit, but because he's filling his turn meter constantly, he's constantly going. So he actually finds some use in a hard Fire Knight team, despite the fact that he's not draining turn meter or putting freezes out. Plus his passive's kind of nice. Increases this champion's speed by 10% and resistance by 50 if the number of champions on this champion's team is equal to or lower than the number of enemies on the team, and always works against bosses. So he gets free speed and free resistance occasionally. The resistance, not super exciting. The extra speed, always good on a champion that is this much of a bunny rabbit. So he is absolutely amazing, and he's YST's favorite champion. He's kind of got the look for it. Cool guy. I like him. I've got some choices to make as far as who to empower, it looks like, on this account. So we'll certainly see. But hey, we've got at least 1 more. So we are 3 gold into the wind on this account, and we've got more shards to pull. Let's keep pulling. Valerium is delivered, though, and Pepsi is delivered. Thank you, Pepsi. And we paid for it with rare tax at the end. But hey, 3 legendaries. Again, duplicates, but useful empowers are good on an endgame account, which is what this is. This is a really endgame account. I'm doing 500 million or more on Nightmare Hydra. We're talking about downing Ultra Nightmare Chimera. We're talking about a lot of the endgame stuff on this account. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. And hey, this was a really good shard pull session. 3 legendaries and 3 decent legendaries and in factions that I actually like. So I'm kind of excited for it. So I appreciate you guys hanging around. You guys are absolutely amazing. So much, much love. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let Pepsi know that they should sponsor me because of all the money I could make. It would be absolutely amazing. And let me know what kind of cool stuff that you guys got from your shards. Hopefully you've got some amazing shard pulls this weekend. And, you know, if you want to, I do shard pulls on Twitch. By the time you see this video, I will probably already done my shard pulls on Twitch for other people, but I do them every CatHerday. So if you ever want your shard pulls pulled by somebody who's an expert with Pepsi, let me know. I will pull your shard pulls. I guarantee you will get champions from your shards. And until the next video, I'm Bront CatHerder.